coming up on this week's Falcon Fever. The men's basketball season opened with a nail-biter. Find out if they finished on top.
And the women's volleyball team looked to close out its season on a high note. Were they able to get the win?
Plus, the men's soccer team had the chance to advance to the second round of the NCAA Division II tournament. Find out how the men fared, next on Falcon Fever. Welcome to Falcon Fever. I'm Casey Beasley.
And I'm Michael Artris. Thanks for joining us. The men's soccer team ended its season November 9th with a loss to Wingate University in the opening round of the NCAA Division II men's soccer tournament. Wingate dominated the first 20 minutes of the match with 3 goals, leaving the Falcons to play catch-up the rest of the match. In the second half, freshman Piero Manga cut the deficit for the Falcons by scoring a goal, but it just wasn't enough for the Falcons as they fell 3-1. Despite the early outing, the Falcons ended with a successful season that included the men's 4th conference tournament championship and its 7th NCAA Division II tournament appearance.
The volleyball team looked to close out the regular season on a high note with 3 straight home matches led by the Peach Belt Player of the Week. The weekend started with a tight contest with Francis Marion. The Falcons managed to get the win 3-2. Behind a combined 55 kills from sophomore Michelle Walker and freshman Rebecca Phelps and PBC Player of the Week Maniati. Junior Kaylee Harvey posted a new school record for digs in the game, netting 42 against the Patriots. The high-powered offense continued into the next morning as the Falcons played host to both UNC Pembroke and West Florida on Senior Day. The day started with honoring seniors Jordan Spinks and Betsy Stevenson. The Falcons went on to beat UNC Pembroke 3-0. Spinks set a career record with 16 kills while Maniati recorded 1,000 career kills. Unfortunately, the Falcons dropped the second match of the day to West Florida 3-1. The win against Pembroke secured Montevallo's spot as the 4th seed in the PBC tournament. The first match is Friday at 11 a.m. against Augusta State. The tournament is being held at Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida. It's finally here, guys. It's that time of year where the Falcons finally get to take to the basketball court.
That is exactly right, Casey. I have been looking forward to this since the men were in Kentucky last season.
I've been looking forward to it. I remember it was spring break.
I know. I'm so excited. Well, anyway, the men opened up the regular season Tuesday night against Stillman College. The Falcons looked strong in the first half, led by senior Drico Hightower with 19 points and 5 rebounds. The Falcons slowed down in the second half, however, and gave up a 15-point lead with 0.6 seconds left in regulation. The game went to overtime with the teams taking turns holding a lead. The Falcons went up 2 points late in overtime and managed to hold off Stillman for the 79-76 win. We got to speak with Coach Danny Young and Coach Jabbar Adams before the game about the upcoming season.
It's a new adventure every year at the start of the year, Jay, and we hope that we're going to compete and we're going to play hard and the guys are going to buy into the system and you know, try to keep the tradition of winning going on.
Well, this has been my first year here. I'm pretty excited about this year, being up under the new coaching staff. A lot of new faces on the floor for me. We got 7 guys returning from last year's team, so I'm pretty excited about this upcoming year.
Now, next up for the men, they travel to South Carolina to take on Anderson University on November 17th and then return home to host Tennessee Wesleyan on Tuesday, November 20th at 7 p.m.
As of showtime this Wednesday, the women's basketball team is preparing for their home opener against UAH. Falcon Fever correspondent Sydney Fields sat down with the head coach, Cindy Hilbrich, to talk about her season and the plans for her team.
Coach, how do you feel about the upcoming season?
I feel that we're going to be pretty successful. We're still kind of rebuilding the team, rebuilding the program, but we have a lot of new players, and I think they're going to be really confident. And we're looking forward to our first home game tomorrow night.
So how has your team had to make adjustments with 4 injured players?
We have struggled a little bit. We're not as deep as I thought we were going to be on the bench during games. We have 2 point guards and one has been out for the last 3 weeks or so. So Trina has had to run the show the whole time, and that's difficult. That's a lot of pressure on a point guard. It's hard to play 40 minutes, so we're trying to find other people that can step up. But fortunately, Jackie, our other point guard, can play a little bit tomorrow night. So hopefully we'll give Trina a little bit of a rest.
And what do you do to make sure that your team stays unified throughout the season?
We'll do different team activities. Last year we played laser tag over Christmas break, and they really enjoyed that. And we'll have team meals on certain occasions. But I think we have really good team chemistry, and I think that's going to be another one of our strengths. I don't really have to do anything. They spend almost every minute together. If you see one, you normally see another one or a couple other ones. And like I said, I really think that that's going to be one of our strengths this year.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a great season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The women's game got underway at 5:30 tonight. If you weren't able to make it to the game, you can watch the replay on ustream.tv/Montevallo Athletics.
Even though the cross-country team season has come to an end, there's still one very important race left for one team member. Kaylee Glover will compete in the NCAA Division II National Championship race November 17th in Joplin, Missouri. Now, good luck, Kaylee, in that race.
That brings us to our featured player of the week.
Now, our beloved correspondent Jolynn Hanna joins us in the studio now. How are you doing?
Pretty good, guys. How are you guys?
Pretty well, pretty well.
Okay, this week our player of the week is going to be soccer player Taylor Kerr. She plays for the women's team. Last week I got a chance to talk to Taylor about her time here at Montevallo with the Falcons. While Taylor is the current goalkeeper, this was not always the case. When her teammate Caitlin Thomas was injured earlier in the season, Taylor stepped up to help lead her team to the Peach Belt Conference quarterfinals. What kind of influence has your family had on you as an athlete?
They've been great. My parents, all through growing up, I played many sports, and so they were there at every single game, and they were always there to cheer me on, and especially here, they keep coming to all the games. So.
When did you start playing soccer, and when did you know you were really good at it?
I probably started playing when I was about 5 or 6, and I played my whole life, and I got kind of lucky my senior year when Coach saw me at a tournament, and she was like, "You want to play college?" And I was like, "Sure."
Now, Taylor, how did you deal with coming in mid-season and replacing your injured teammate?
Well, it wasn't too hard because I started out the season practicing as a backup goalkeeper. And as the season went on, Caitlin was doing great until that unfortunate injury. And so I was ready to just step up.
What was it like transitioning from backup forward to goalkeeper?
It felt like old times. I've been doing it my whole life. Club soccer, wherever they needed me, I was either a keeper or forward or even sometimes defense. So.
What's it like being named PBC Goalkeeper of the Week?
That was a shock, actually. One of my teammates told me. I didn't believe her at first, but it was very. I felt honored because I'd only been playing in goal for like 2 weeks at the time, so I was very humbled by it.
You and your teammates seem like you're a really close team. How does that help on the field?
We are really close. It's probably one of the tightest teams I've ever played with. They're a lot of fun, and we bring that energy to the field, I think. And soccer's an emotional sport, so when tensions get high, it's hard on the field, but once we get off, we're just as close as ever. So.
What are your plans after graduation?
I haven't given it too much thought, but I'd like to work in a museum. I'm a history major, so anything working in a museum or library would be kind of fun for me.
Thank you, Taylor Kerr, our Falcon Fever featured player of the week. As always, if you have any suggestions for our featured player of the week, just let us know.
Thanks, Jolynn. Now it's time for that part of the show where we get to thank our fans.
That's right, and this week it just so happens to be my grandmother, Karen Simmons. She's always the first to like and share all of our posts, and I really appreciate that, Momo, so much for being so supportive.
She's so adorable.
Thank you for that. For more sports, you can get in on all of the Falcon Fever action through YouTube and through social media.
You can watch current and past episodes of Falcon Fever on YouTube. Just search for Montevallo for you.
Also, add us as a friend on Facebook. There you'll find links to sports stories throughout the week and live updates from the game. You can also comment, talk about recent games, or give a shout out to anyone, just like my grandmother does.
You can also follow us on Twitter. You just search for Falcon Fever. And if you do, leave us a comment or tweet at us. We might just give you a shout out on our next show.
And last but not least, get extended sports coverage on MontevalloFalcons.com. There you'll find team rosters, live stats, pictures, and more. Now that brings us to the end of our show, and Michael wasn't here last week, so were you hanging out with the guys from Duck Dynasty? I have to ask.
Oh man, no, I've become a lumberjack apparently. No, in all seriousness, it's No Shave November, so that is why I have the Grizzly Adams look going on. and that will last for probably another 2 weeks, hopefully, if I can stand it. So I apologize to our viewers for my rough feature, putting it lightly.
Well, speaking of 2 weeks, we're not going to be here next week, so we hope you enjoy the Thanksgiving holidays with your families. When we come back, you can see if he's still got his beard.
That's right. Well, I'm Michael Artress, and thank you for joining us.